Hi, I'm Cash. Welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And today we're doing Manchester City against Liverpool, as Liverpool, I think, are 11 points clear. If they win again I don't like doing all that on a channel and these teams are going to win the league or this or that, because then you just get bogged down into all the news and all of that sort of stuff. I break down how people are good and bad at football and try to show it to you so you can learn something from it, take it away and enjoy the game more, become a better player or a better coach. That's what we do here. Let's have a little look at Manchester City, because this is it's shocking. I mean, this is terrible defending. We just draw a little box around the 6-yard box there. That is where all of the Manchester City players are. Look, this is you just can't do this. I'm always a fan of having a player around the D. You've got to have a player here in the middle. You really do. So many reasons. One is because this is the most common space that the ball drops from corners and second balls. So say from the corner, they defend it, boom, lands in this area, you can clear it, start the counter attack, hold the ball, stop them shooting. It is just the most common area it lands, right? So to have two Liverpool players there completely unmarked, and one of them being a guy called Mo Salah. I don't know if you've heard of him. You might have to have marking duties so normally when you're doing your set pieces, you've got your roles and responsibilities, and you'll normally have, our best header of the ball is going up against their best header of the ball, right? Simple, yeah. But what you're going to do is someone like Mo Salah, who's not fantastic on the corners, but he's really good at the second balls and the knockdowns. You'll have someone maybe like a Phil Foden, who's really good at that technically as well, to match Mo Salah and follow him around in these routines. To have him unmarked is terrible. And you can see Liverpool have clearly, even though they don't have a set piece coach, these guys have got together and they're playing this little set piece routine here, and they've got two blockers. You can see Van Dijk and Konate are just sort of bulging their way through, where all the focus is on these two, and no one is paying attention to Mo Salah. So as the ball goes here, from the front post flick, it is lucky that it's not intercepted here. But that goes back to my point, is if there was any player that was outside of the 6-yard box for Manchester City, this goal wouldn't have happened, because they would have got to this ball, been able to cut it out, and Salah wouldn't have been able to score. Now, does it take a bit of a deflection? Yeah, but it's just poor from Manchester City. And I don't know if the Liverpool players identified that they were all in the 6-yard box and they could play this little routine, or they just did it with a bit of luck and it came off. Now, there are a couple of little coaching points I will make after the goals, because I want to show you something about Nathan Ake and his just awful defending, but we're just going to cover the goal straight away, right? Bosh, in it goes. If he did make sound effects, we know the rules, he would have got 2 points. Let's move it on. So I want to show you this little clip here. It's the Manchester City offside goal, but I want to watch the movement of this striker in Mamouche. That's where the ball should have been played. He doesn't release him, okay? He's going to learn very quickly, like Haaland does, is you don't make runs at Manchester City because you never get the ball. They just want to pass it around a lot, and they don't really want to expose. But watch what happens. Watch what Konate does, okay? Watch this. Boom, 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 boom. As he goes there, okay, start to track the run. Soon as he's got to the point where Konate's right, okay, I've had enough now. What does it mean he's had enough? He realises that he's gone too far behind Van Dijk, and Konate can come back and he can play that line, and he is irrelevant. Okay, watch. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. There it is. There's the thing. He shifts and he starts to move back. Okay, because the ball hasn't gone, doesn't have to track him. It's all too late. Off he goes to get back on side. Now, in the leagues that he comes from, when you pull a defender away like that, the time it'll take for the defender to go, right, the ball hasn't been played. Do I mark him or not? It's too slow. Right, so he can stay there and he would have been fine because he's technically pulled the centre-back back. But in the Premier League, the defenders are better. So what will happen is he immediately starts shuffling back. You see, shuffling back and getting him offside. He knows where he is. They're all well aware. They're keeping him offside, waiting for the ball, because Man City took too long to release the pass. And that's a massive difference, I'm telling you. When you go up in levels of plays and qualities, you'll really see the difference and understand the things that you can get away with in the lower leagues, you can't get away with in the upper leagues. And that's one of the things where, as a coach, I try explaining this to people all the time, and they just don't understand it because they haven't lived it. If you're doing something bad and you're scoring goals from it in the lower leagues, you can't transition to the higher leagues and go, well, I'm going to do it. No, because this thing that you're doing here will still be bad, and I can't outcoach you. You can't fix this problem here. So you can't make that move up to the next level because you still do this thing wrong here, and they don't make that mistake for allowing you to do that in the next level. And it is so infuriating. And if you play anything, you can use any sort of analogy, like you can use video games of anything, of like, oh, how the players get to the next level, to the next player. MOBA's the only video game there is, Dota 2 that I play, will completely explain that to you. The reason why you're low rank is because you don't do the fundamentals here properly, and you can't get better. It's the same thing in football, but you can see that run there. I'm going to watch him and see if he keeps making these runs in the weeks to come. But let's move it forward. Before we do that, I'm just going to show you that. You can see Konate's watching him. He tracked the run, went there, came back, completely well played. When a defender does something brilliant, you've got to say it because it doesn't happen very often in the Premier League. There's certain players that you have to change the way you're doing things. But Man City are a pressing team. They like to try to win the ball back high up the field. And one of the players that you have to make sure that you're doing that to is this guy, is Trent Alexander-Arnold, because he's probably one of the best ball players in the world with the ball at his feet. And you have to get in his face so he doesn't knock 65-yard balls or 45-yard balls or 25-yard balls in behind you for runners to run in and score goals on you. You have to have pressure on the ball. And this is why Doku's a problem for Pep Guardiola, because he might do stuff well when he's on the ball, but when he's off the ball, he doesn't do the things that Pep would want him to do. He would be furious that this isn't closed down and that this ball's allowed to get played over the top. It's one of the issues that he had with Jack Grealish, and when they won the treble that year, Jack Grealish was actually doing this properly and actually participating in the way Pep wanted him to play. So Trent just pings a ball over the top for a foot race. Shock, Mo Salah wins a foot race. Who would have thought it? So the other thing as well, Slobosai was running with him, and then he just stops and cuts back into the space. It's one of those interesting things. If you ever want to make space for yourself as a striker, you slow your run down and let everyone run past you, and you'll find a bubble will appear behind, in front of, well, technically behind because they're going this way, so behind the ball, or in front of, if you're a defender, the back four here. And no one identifies it from Man City. Absolutely nobody. Now, they do have time to do something about it, okay? Because, look, you can see the pocket of space. You can see the two defenders. But running back, not enough. All on his own, on top of the box. Now, I'm going to show you a clip in a second because one of the Man City players blocks another Slobosai goal. And I mean, he comes out of nowhere. And it's effort. The reason they don't lose 3-0. Absolute effort. But you said, where's the effort here? You got a guy sitting on the 18-yard box. I know you're focused on Mo Salah. I know you're understanding that he's going to cut in and he's going to put it into that far corner just there. I understand that's what you're doing. What are you doing? One of you has to sort of start thinking about what's going on here, because here's the point. When that ball's played, now is the point you can go and pressure, right? As soon as this ball goes. So I always make this thing. Do you want to get there before or after the ball? Well, at the same time, really. Why at the same time? If you can get there before, great, because you can intercept the pass. But if you want to get there at the same time, because you're playing off his touch, they've got to try to control the ball, and you're trying to tackle them at the same time. It's very difficult for them to get around you then. So if you can get there, win the ball, off you go. So as soon as that ball's played, you start running, right? As it goes, bump, there's the little roll, and they've all been baited with the shot. Do you see how deep they've gone from the ball? There's no actual real pressure on the ball. They're so worried about the shot, they actually forgot to play football and focus on the ball. So when the pass comes in, they weren't even ready. One reacts. And I think it's this kiddie actually that does that runny, slidey thing I'm talking about, actually trying, while the others are... And it's also hard as well, if you like the Nathan Ake's or the Kevin De Bruyne, it's like Nathan Ake's never been a great defender. He's just been in a great team. So when they're all playing at, 8s and 9s, he's a standard 6. He plays at 7 or 8 because everybody else around him is great. But if he's on his own, well, he's a standard 6. And that's what you're getting. And it's also difficult for people that have been in teams like Kevin De Bruyne and these guys that are just winning all the time and now on the decline. It's very, very difficult to sort of bring yourself up emotionally every week when you're just losing football games. They should have closed this shot down. They don't. Find the bottom corner and it's easy. Keeper's got no chance. Bit poor. But I do want to show you those two little clips and you will call it a day. This is the clip I'm talking about here with Nathan Ake. He doesn't have a clue what to do. Watch this. He doesn't know at all what to do. As he comes in here, look, bum, bum, bum. Okay, go to win the football. Go to win it. You've committed. Go to win the football. He doesn't, because he knows he's stepped up, right? He knows that he's allowed space in behind him. So he's made a mistake. This is the thing in football. When you've committed, commit. Okay, I've committed. I've made a mistake. I'm trying to win the ball. So what he does is he comes here, right? The space is there. Okay. You might as well try to win the ball because you're there. Nope. Then he starts to back away. Oh, no, 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 no. Now I'm going to run. So not only does he make the first mistake, then he makes a second mistake and not challenging for the ball. The space that he's created is already there. And now he doesn't go towards the ball and he leaves. So now his other teammates like, well, you've come there. What? Now have I got to go to the ball? Now who's pressuring the ball? He's like, well, it's not me. I've got to go back here and defend. You know that space that I left. Yeah. Well, then why did you come here? If you're not going to come and win the ball and be forceful, don't come. Stay and hold your shape. Doesn't even try to do anything then. And then now I'm just going to run up. You've done nothing. You've created a problem for your team by opening up that space, haven't won the football, and then just didn't bother to do anything. Shocking. This is what I want to show you, commitment. Look at this little, whoever this kiddie is here. Of course, there should be a goal because someone's got their arm up, and we know in the Premier League in the next 5 seconds, someone's telling somebody what to do. They're about to score a goal, and they would have if it wasn't for this wee chap here. So you can see Salah's moving down. He's trying to look to play in Szoboszlai. Look how far away this kiddie is here from Szoboszlai. But he knows the ball's going. He can see it. He can read the game. And he is busting a gut to get there. And he does. Gets all the way there. Stops Szoboszlai having a shot. Saves it. Brilliant. Got to say, when defenders do great work, he did great work there. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.